Well, hello and welcome to the Brain Dump Preload, and today we're talking about state of mind and also rider etiquette. I've sent some links out for anyone that wants to be on the panel as well, and if you're watching this and you'd like to get on the panel, as per usual, just search for Brain Dump on Skype and I will add you and then I will send you a link to get on the panel. Hang on a minute, I've got an echo going on here from somewhere. Found it. Sorry about that, it's a bit bizarre. Right, okay. Hi, good evening, who am I, UK number one? Would you like to join the panel, sir? If so, let me know, I'll send you a link. I've got a question already from Devon Mellon that I will pick up in this session, but I'm just trying to sort a couple of things out. Let's see if I can find you. Yeah, if you put yourself online, Dave, and you want to come in, Dave, I'll send you a link, buddy. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to start with Devon Mellon's question, which was around riding with music. Now, I've driven with music before, but I've never ridden with music, and I can tell you personally that when I was driving with music, it did change the way I drove my car. So I'm guessing it will change the way that you drive or ride your bike as well. And for me personally, on my bike, I don't think I'd ever ride with music because I just need to concentrate on what I'm doing, and I quite like the sound of my own bike as well, rather than blocking the sound out with music. And oh, Dave's just come online. I'll see if I can get him in on the panel. Just seen his status on Skype. So yeah, so that's one thing. Music. Do you ride with music? Be interested to know. Comments below.
Shall I ask a question, Mr. B, so that you're not sat there talking to yourself?
Yeah, sure.
So, rider etiquette. Not when you're on a group ride,
but
when you're just out on your bike, going wherever you're going, commuting, whatever. What's the etiquette around other riders? Particularly going in the same direction, if someone's going a bit slower than you, if you're both filtering.
Okay, so riders that you might see as you're riding along, what's the etiquette type thing? Okay.
Going in the same direction, because I know going in the opposite direction, it's good etiquette to say hello.
Yes, with a nod or a wave. Yeah. Okay. So, good question. Hi, Dave.
Hiya. Hi, everybody.
Hi, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so the subject is rider etiquette and state of mind. Mrs. B just asked a question, which is basically when you come across riders that are going in the same direction as you, so not a group ride, but just sort of randoms, if you like. What sort of etiquette? You mean like in overtaking or not overtaking and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pick a scenario to start with. Let's say that you are riding faster than somebody else or need to be somewhere a little bit more quicker than the person in front. Let's go with you, Dave, straight away. What's the etiquette, do you think, or in how do you treat other riders when it comes to overtaking them that are not part of your group, but you know you're going in a particular direction?
Oh, really? You pick on me? You haven't got anybody else in the group to look at? Riding, if you want to go somewhere quicker and you've got a group of riders in front of you, as far as I'm concerned, it would be exactly the same as if you were in a car. You would overtake them in a normal manner, you would give them a wave, and you just carry on straight as normal.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Just treat them as like any other road users, but obviously as they're on a bike, you tend to sort of give them a little wave. And also I try to, I'll always put my headlights on if I'm going to be overtaking anyway. I mean, they're on most of the time anyway, and new bikes today, they're permanently on, but I try to get in their mirror as well so that they can see me coming, and give it a bit of a rev too, just so that they know that I'm there. I think it's a little bit more polite than just beeping your horn, but it depends whether or not you've got loud pipes, I suppose. So yeah, in terms of overtaking, just overtake as normal, give them a wide berth, give them a wave, and tally-ho, carry on.
On a slight tangent, I also do something similar when I'm coming up to push cyclists, push bikes, in a bus lane, because where I live, it's very industrial areas, and you've got lots of road traffic noise, and you don't know whether the push cyclist can hear you or not. So I tend to give them a lot of room and give them a little bit of a rev before I go down. It's not a proper full-out rev bomb. It's just a couple of tweaks on the throttle, so he knows I'm there, because he won't be expecting anybody coming up the bus lane, and he might just be waving in and out or whatever they want to do. So it's just to let them know I'm there, really.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And of course, if they are riding more than 2 abreast, then it's full-on rev bomb, of course, because that's the law.
Yeah.
You got too much room on the road, but yeah, that's just me, Mr. Naughty Boy, Mr. B. So yeah, in terms of going in the same direction and you're overtaking, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I suppose the other scenario as well is that if you're not in a hurry and you've got someone you can see in your mirror, then I think for me personally, I will just kind of move over to the left when it's safe to do so and just wave them by, just say, you know, get past. And I don't know, Dave, what do you do?
Exactly the same. I tend to go to what they call it, the number 2 position, or not really number 1. I don't like going in the gutter. And I just, if I definitely want them in front of me, I'll actually slow down a bit. In the 30, I'll probably go about 20, 25, just to encourage them to overtake and go past. But if I'm coming up to somebody and I'm not really interested in overtaking, again, I will use the number 2 position, and I'll just slowly come up to the back of them and then just stay there.
Yeah. You just gave me a good a thought as well, that it's always difficult with these things because you kind of take so much for granted. But the other thing I kind of automatically do, if I know someone wants to get past me and say I'm in traffic, I will drop back enough from, say, a vehicle in front to make sure that if they do overtake, they've got somewhere to go. And so I like to leave a good gap as well, so that they feel comfortable that they can get round me and they'll have room in front to tuck in if they need to, if something comes the other way. So that's always a good one.
So on a similar sort of line, and again, this is something that I'm seeing a lot at the moment. So on the A40 going into London, you've got 3 narrow lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
And obviously you get a lot of bikes filtering through. And I tend to sit in the middle lane for a good proportion of it, because that takes me into the right lane for when I'm coming off it again. And I tend to sit with my near side wheels pretty much on the white line, so there's loads of room for bikes to pass me.
Yeah.
But what I have been seeing, or what I saw a lot of this week, was people coming up the other side as well.
In between the slow and
in
overtaking.
Between lanes 1 and 2.
Right. On
So,
bikes, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously I sat there shaking my head thinking that's not very safe, but as a fellow biker, would you do anything to indicate to maybe a new rider who doesn't know not to do that? Would you do anything to try and alert them that that's not the safest way to filter? Okay,
yeah. I suppose when that scenario is actually unfolding in front of you, and you've got, because obviously the safest place to filter for a start is in between second and third lanes, or in between the overtaking and the fast lane. And that way you cut a hole through the traffic, and it's slightly more of a gap there.
So that's why I always sit so far across.
Exactly, which is good. If you've got someone that's trying to filter in between the slow lane and the overtaking lane, then they're going to be causing trouble for everyone that pretty much knows that the normal way to filter is in between the overtaking and fast lane, because they'll be pushing cars over towards where you would normally filter in between the other ones, and you'll kind of part in the waves both ways. You'll be fighting against each other. how on earth you tackle that when someone's riding along is very difficult, apart from, you know, some sign language, like, get over this lane, you idiot, and stop filtering there, because you're just wrecking havoc for everyone else trying to filter in a normal way.
That's what I'm wondering. If you then both came to traffic lights, would you do something to indicate to them that that was a dangerous manoeuvre?
Oh, if we came to a stop, I'd say, do you know what, mate, you really shouldn't filter in that lane, you should filter in this lane, that way we can all cut a hole for all the other bikers. If you filter in 2 different lanes, then you can't physically cut a hole because the traffic doesn't know which direction to go.
What about you, Dave?
Very, very similar. I would think exactly the same as Mr. B. If you've come up to a stop, you can say, you can try to educate them. Say, excuse me, mate, you might be better off filtering in the other lane. I won't say don't do that, unless he asks why not. Because most people, if you say don't do that, they think, who are you giving me advice?
Yeah.
You know. But if you diplomatically put it the other way, you'd be better off in that lane to filter, you'd be safer. Then they're more than not likely to take the advice. As a car driver, because I'm a car driver as well, in that situation, I wouldn't necessarily move over either left or right if I'm in the middle of some of these 3-lane traffics you get in London in the streets, not motorway, but in streets.
Yeah.
What I would do is I'd give a couple of bikes length between me and the car in front, so that I have ability to move left, right, or forward or back when I see a bike that wants to come in and filter. I always try to give them a safe zone so they can go into in case something else happens, rather than what a lot of these drivers do, which is get up as close to the bumper in front of the vehicle in front, which doesn't help anybody really.
I do exactly the same, and I'll have to tell you about this because I was horrified. I'd seen a biker coming filtering up and he was wobbling all over the place, and I thought, oh, bless you. And I could see there was quite a lot of big vehicles up in front, so I kept right back from the car in front, let him past me, and made sure there was a safe space in front of me so he could pull in until he got stable on the bike and felt confident to carry on again. So that was all fine. He pulled in front of me, and the car out of the left-hand lane pulls across into the lane with him. So I beat my horn and gestured at the driver, as did the biker, but that must be bloody scary.
Yeah. And the other thing about, if you're filtered down the same lane, what you do is you cut a hole for everyone else. And if I was at the traffic lights and he says, oh, who are you? I'd say, first of all, I'm Mr. B. And then from
fastest blogger in the world.
Exactly, I'm Mr. B. Didn't you know? Don't you know who I am? And the other thing I'd be saying is that if you go behind me in the outside lane, I'll cut a path through the traffic. You'll have a much safer journey through the traffic because I would have already moved the cars over for the next rider. And that's the kind of way it works. And it all goes wrong when someone else filters in the other lane, and then the cars don't know which side they should be on. So, especially if there's a lot of bikers going down the same way, once one goes through, it starts cutting a wider path, and it gets more and more safer for everybody when that happens. Yeah, I mean, car bike, if you're watching and you want to come online, mate, yeah, you can do. You are
Are you being forced?
No, it's right. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. You know what, it's a bit like me. I don't multitask.
Right, tell you what,
but we do have a question.
You send in the link and I'll read Hetcat's question.
Go on then.
I've sent it for you.
Good evening, Hetcat Harley. I hate it when other riders tear past in the chevron area of the carriageway and kick up all the rubbish and grit into your face. I would approach and let the leading rider be aware of my presence and then have time to move over a bit to avoid that.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. I went on the Christmas charity ride, and there was a couple of guys that were either riding in the very centre of the road, or they were riding in that area, you know, where the chevrons are, where the rubbish is. And I can feel all the crap hitting my crash helmet and visor, and it's hitting my bike. It's like, come on, guys, don't ride there. You're just kicking up shit for everybody. So it's not something that I enjoy too much. Dave? Your thoughts
Yeah,
on cats?
yeah. It sounds like hailstones hitting your helmet or something like that, and obviously when you're riding through it, you don't think much of it. But when you're behind, especially if you're a polisher and you got a nice polished bike, you're going to get dents and chips and all sorts coming out of your bike, and you'll often see them suddenly veer straight out into the middle of the road to try and get away from it, which of course is a bit dangerous. Um, yeah, so it's not a nice thing to do. Wherever possible, try and uh, if you got intercoms with each other in a group ride or something, just let them know. Keep out of the rubbish in the middle of the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or even when you stop somewhere, just say, "Excuse me, mate. Try and keep out of the rubbish because you're flicking stones and bricks at everybody."
Yeah, it almost makes you think. The thing is, I don't like to say something at the beginning of these sort of events. I mean, we never said anything when we went on the ride out to Lincoln, did we, Dave? But I mean, I suppose it just might. Yeah, so I know you guys probably all know this, but please don't ride in the shit on the road and stuff for the people behind you. You know, be considerate of them. And I know everyone probably already knows this, but you know, just say it anyway, just so that everyone's clear. I know.
I think it depends on whether you know the group you're riding with, and
Yeah.
although, you know, when you guys went to Lincoln, you didn't all know each other as such, you all kind of know each other and know each other's riding styles, so that, I suppose, would have gone without saying. But if it's with a group of people that you don't know, like on a charity ride, then yeah, it's worth someone playing dad and sort of giving out the orders,
Yeah.
doing a safety briefing.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is that with some of the charity rides, they're so big, you get, you know, 500-600 bikes, you can't really give them all a briefing, and you'll always get the idiots anyway, that ride inappropriately without any etiquette.
Yeah.
Which leads nicely on to state of mind.
Yes, state of mind. Let's. I mean, I try to remain calm, but obviously some things will annoy you, and it's how you handle that. I mean,
Dave, what do you do when someone's really winding you up? So it could be a car driver that's deliberately blocking you from getting past, or you've just had a really crappy day and you're not in the best frame of mind. How do you handle that when you're on the bike?
It's a very, very mental issue that I've recently been getting very, very good at. I have in the past screamed, shouted, honked my horn, done all sorts of things behind my visor that can't be seen or heard. You know, you shout at them and you think they can hear you, but obviously they can't. They got their window up and whatever. But recently, it's a mind game with yourself. You just tell people, let it go, just ride your own ride. If you have to, if somebody won't let you past, you can either go a different route if you've got the time, or you can just pull over, take a couple of minutes, and then carry on with your ride again. Because most bikers can afford to pull over for a couple of minutes and carry on, and by the time you've started off again, a few minutes down the later, you're probably passing the bloke anyway. So, or woman, or group of vans or buses or whatever it is that's annoying you at the time. But easier said than done. It's something I'm always working on myself. I know I always seem calm here, like Mr. Calm Biker says, but not everybody's always calm, and I've done my usual rants and rages at people, but I am trying to get better at it.
yeah, I'm the same. I used to get really wound up. On the busser, it's, I don't know, you're kind of at a bit of an advantage anyway because you can pretty much get past most stuff. But one things that used to annoy me, like I was going on I went to Southport recently, and there was this guy. He must have been the. Is there such thing as a Peugeot 106 or something? A really small car anyway? It might have been like a. It's such a small car, right? And it was a really wide road. You could get two cars down this road in one lane. Yeah, it's that wide. And when he saw me coming, and I'm sure you've seen this as well, Dave, they go from the middle of the road to the outside because they see you coming past all the traffic. and they moved to the outside, and it was a massive gap. And he was looking in his mirror at me, and I said, "What? You want to move over some more? You know, go on then, move over some more." And he was like edging towards the white line. And I just put it in second gear, and I went, boom, up his inside. And you should have seen him. He was jumping up and down in his car, going, onward, and I was fine. I wasn't enraged or anything. And I think it's a better way of handling it when that situation arises, is that do something that annoys the person that's annoying you, and that way you feel a lot better about yourself, and let them have the stress.
As long as it's not dangerous.
As long as it's not dangerous.
It is something that, as a rider, you do have to focus on. If you want to, and this is not saying you have to, but if you want to be aggressive to other car drivers, you must think about how you are riding first. If you're thinking that you want to tailgate him, which I would never do because it's really stupid, you've got to be covering your brakes. And when I say tailgate, I don't mean 3 feet off his back bumper. I mean within a car's length. I normally ride 2 to 3 car lengths behind, but don't be stupid if you're going to be an idiot. Basically, don't be stupid.
If you're going to be dumb, be tough. Good evening, Mr. Calm.
Hello.
Oh.
I'm supposed to be working, but you kept saying my name, so I have to.
Well, the subject kind of suits your title.
Style.
Yeah, most of the time. But yeah, we're just talking about state of mind at the moment, and you know what you do to prevent yourself getting enraged. Because I know I used to when I was younger. I definitely did, and it did affect the way I ride as well. So, what do you do, Mr. Calm Biker, to calm yourself down from when the red mist descends when a rider or driver is giving you hassle?
Yeah, I think most of it is not to do with a state of mind from the point of view of how you react to things going wrong, but it's to do with your state of mind when you're riding in general. So if you're anticipating more, so there's quite a few times. I mean, I uploaded one a few weeks ago where a police van pulled out in front of me, and I just laughed.
Oh, the irony.
I tooted him, he apologised, I nodded, and just laughed to myself as I went away and thought, that'll make a good video. But it's kind of, if you're anticipating things, then you shouldn't really be getting in that position anywhere near as often as some people you see get into it. You know, you should be in a position where you're expecting it to happen and you can just laugh it off. And a laugh inside your helmet is better than a scream and shout.
Yeah.
Occasionally, people are just so incredibly stupid that you can't anticipate just how idiotic some people are.
I guess as well, if you are anticipating, it doesn't come as a surprise to you.
Yeah.
Which is why when, if you remember my one video that I put up where this vehicle pulled out in front of me from the side of a white van.
Yeah.
That one there, I'd seen him coming. I've had quite a few comments of people said, why weren't you shouting and raging and bibbing your horn and this, that and the other? It's probably because I saw it coming and I expected it. So the shock value had already gone, whereas if something hits you instantly that you didn't expect, you've got that flight or fight response that goes on in your head, and that's probably when you shout more.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's. I mean, obviously, there's the one case that everybody knows about.
What's that, Mr. Calm?
where I did lose my rag with somebody, and I think deservedly so.
Yeah.
But for me, on that one, it was incredible stupidity, and then I also had the wife on the back, and that makes it more different because I'm happily going out there every time I go out, taking the risk for myself. But when you're responsible for the life of somebody else at that point, And obviously when it's somebody who's very close to you, having some idiot trying to drive you off the road or hit you or whatever it might be will make you lose your temper. Also, I mean, I was very new to riding then, and I didn't realise just quite how stupid some people could be.
Yeah, I understand what you mean as well. It's like when I got Vicky on the back, it's like someone's trying to threaten you both, you know, and it's difficult. Again, I mean, you know, a lot of the times I can get away from situations like that just by having a little twist of the throttle and just get and distance myself from it and forget about it. I suppose in circumstances where you've not quite got that much power to sort of have that choice,
or where you haven't got the road to do that,
or the road, yeah, then obviously
got the space ahead of you to make that.
Well, I suppose the biggest problem with that one was I was wary that stretch is where they sit the police cameras.
Yeah.
So they have the van at the side of the road up there, and I was already doing 60-ish.
Yeah.
So I obviously, I mean, the bike's it's not a booster, you know, but it's got enough power to pull away from pretty much any car. But why should I then end up doing 100, 110 and losing my license because of some clown behind me?
Yeah, I suppose. The benefit now, of course, is that you've got a camera to record that, so at least you've got some mitigating circumstances with being threatened like that.
Yeah.
I'd always use the camera for that anyway.
Yeah, but it was the extra stupidity that road actually turns into a 2-lane road within, well, you could see it on the video, within kind of 25 yards. So overtaking in somebody's lane rather than into that other bit. But some people, as I say, are just silly.
No,
if you're anticipating, then especially if you're a vlogger, and especially if you do clips videos, then when you're anticipating, you're thinking, there's a clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that annoyed me most about that, though, and then we'll knock that one on the head, but was her choice of time to overtake right as another car was coming from the other direction. It was the worst possible time for her to try and overtake, even though how stupid it was for her to overtake in the first place. She also picked the time when, basically, as she came past you, there was another car coming in the other direction at the same time. And
I don't know if you noticed, but that bit actually goes to dual carriageway at that point. So as she was passing me, she was also coming in to avoid the curb on the right-hand side, because there's that very short stretch. It's actually 1-lane dual carriageway. But yeah.
Worst,
she was having a bad day or something.
Worst time to do that.
Don't worry.
That video, we'll pop a link in the description for this.
Oh yeah. Invite the trolls.
I'm sorry, Calm. I just thought, because there will be some people who haven't seen it, so I thought for them to know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
No, but by all means do. But yeah, you can't comment on that video because the amount of trolls on there just got to the point of silliness.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Calm. Although you are finding more and more people are doing stupid things to you while you're riding, every year you'll find something that beats it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I've still got some shocking footage of people doing stupid things. Not necessarily to me, but it's just like, what? You know, it's just a case of trying to edit all this stuff. But yeah, there are such terrible drivers out there. Well, I said in an earlier vlog as well, when it comes to other drivers, you've got to remember that about 2% of the drivers of cars in the UK have never even taken a test. So you have to bear that in mind, and that's why Ride Invisible, you know, because you've got some people out there that aren't obeying the rules of the road anyway.
It's quite apt as well today. I don't know if you spotted that news story, but they've done a study of some sort, and they say that 76% of drivers would not pass their test.
Yeah, I'll vouch for that. Yeah. Yeah, totally agree.
Got some questions.
Yeah, I know. I've got a couple of questions. So, Calm Biker says hi.
Hi, Calm Biker.
Hi, Calm Biker.
Calm Biker.
Hi, Richard.
Hope Cat Harley come back saying that this is where riders ride in front of you in all the rubbish on the road, either the centre or in the chevron area where all the dirt and rubbish is, kicking up shit in front of the people that are following. So that's bad etiquette. If you're riding a bike, make sure if you've got bikes behind you, you're not kicking up shit for them to collect on their visor, or in this case, stones and open face helmets don't mix very well.
No.
I totally agree with that. Calm Biker says he'll be joining us in a minute, and there he is. Look at that, it's amazing. Oh, hello, Skiggy Speaker. Let's just select that one.
Hi, Skaggy.
Hi, Skiggy.
I saw a biker today when overtaking a wagon, and drag started to overtake, and I had to pull in between the lorry and the trailer it was towing. Wow. I can only assume that he was in the wrong frame of mind. Luckily, he got away with it.
Yeah, that wasn't Skaggy. He saw someone do that.
Yeah, I saw a biker, yeah. Wow. That's pretty dangerous. Yeah, obviously not thinking ahead there in terms of what may be coming the other way. Yeah, that's bad. And also, to follow on from that, Skaggy says the gap the bike squeezed into is about 2 feet longer than the bike. Good job the lorry didn't turn right. Yeah,
Jesus.
or brake. That would have been nasty. Oh, I'm guessing the traffic was stopped, was it, at that point? I'm guessing. Because otherwise that's one mean manoeuvre to get between a trailer and the tractor unit of a blooming lorry whilst moving at speed. But yeah, obviously make sure you've got that distance to get past, and the timing is always important. So in terms of state of mind, we've got about another 15 minutes left. I also wanted to talk about what was the other thing that I said? State of mind.
Music, wasn't it?
Oh, and etiquette, yes. Well, we talked about etiquette as well. So in terms of state of mind then, I know that Devon Mellon said something about playing music. Do any of you put music through your headphones, and does that change the way you ride?
Occasionally, yes, I do. If I'm just going out for a ride around for an hour or so, I will pop some music on. I don't have it blasting so loud that I can't hear anything, but I'm used to having music at work as background, and I can concentrate on my work and everything that I'm doing while some music is playing. So I'm pretty used to ignoring the music when I have to and listening to it when I'm enjoying a ride out. So yes, I do it, but it doesn't distract me.
Okay. And Calm, was you indicating there that you don't have music?
Yeah, I kind of got 2 points on this. One was from some stuff I did when I was looking at how music affects software development. But my first one is, the music I tend to listen to is probably not conducive to riding a bike. So I can imagine I might be a little bit more aggressive with Slipknot on. Yeah, I like a bit of Slipknot, but not so good for filtering. But I'd looked into a lot of this when we were having a problem at work with noise, and the software developers not being productive because of noise. It's a company I used to work at, and we were thinking about putting music on to try and drown it out and all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of studies when you actually start looking around that just the act of having music on takes away concentration. So your brain processing it subconsciously takes away some of your other subconscious abilities. Now, I don't know what it's like for riding a bike, but I wonder if there's a potential there that it could be distracting you without you realising it, and maybe you're not going to be then picking up on some of the things that people do. But that said, I don't have music on the bike mainly because I won't be able to hear what was going on around me.
Yeah.
or
because it'd be so quiet that I could, then I wouldn't enjoy the music anyway, because the music I like is loud.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I like the same sort of stuff as you do, as you know. Playing some Rammstein at work, that'll help them. You know, something like that. But
You
yes,
might be right there, because they wouldn't understand it. So it might not be as distracting because it's in German.
It's the melody more than it is anything else.
Melody is an interesting word for Rammstein.
Yes. But the point I'm trying to make is and it's completely gone out of my head. So come back to me. No, it's let's get this back on track. State of mind. I have, on occasions, been playing some heavy metal or Rammstein or any of the other things I listen to, and I have noticed that you do tend to ride more aggressively when I was younger. I hate moths. When I was younger, and if I wanted to chill out a bit and calm, I would put some pop on or put some Simply Red on or anything like that. That's much calmer, and again, that calms you down for when you're riding. But now I have the ability to focus or not focus, have it in the background or whatever. I tend to be able to just ride normally all the time.
Yeah, the argument about not being able to hear what's going on around you. I've probably said this before, but on my bike I can't hear anything around me anyway. But I prefer to hear the bike. That's my music. I just don't want that distraction. I know that riding with music in my younger years, I did ride more aggressively. You know, any favourite musical tracks that you like will tend to lift your mood and probably make you go a little bit faster. And I think, as what Khan was saying there, you know, your helmet, your brain is a processor at the end of the day, and if it's processing music that you like because you like it, you're spending some of that processing time with that music as opposed to concentrating on what you're doing, which is riding the bike. It may be only a small amount of that processor time, but it's still a distraction at the end of the day, and I personally would prefer to listen to my bike anyway than any music.
Yeah, I don't listen to music when I'm commuting. It's when I do listen to it, it's usually on a weekend where the traffic is a lot less anyway, or at night if I'm on holiday, or it's nice sunny day, so it's going to be a warm night. It's definitely retrospective to the conditions that I'm driving in or riding in, because I listen to it in the car as well. So yeah.
I suppose with me as well that a reasonable amount of my riding is still conscious, whereas you guys have been riding for so long, most of it's going to be subconscious by now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can consciously concentrate on the problems around you and ride the thing.
It's like the flick of the wrist or twist of the wrist or whatever that book is and video. They talk about. For instance, they talk about having money set out on the road. So, if you've got $1 or a pound, you're coming up to a corner. 50 pence is on the apex of the corner, and 10 pence is on your rear mirrors. But once you've gone round or something and you're on the straight, it then changes and this, that, and the other. But over time, because you don't have to concentrate on the corner, you can get away with giving 10 pence on the corner or something like that, because you are so used to expecting everything and processing everything. I remember the first time I was driving, the very first time I got into a car, my eyes was on the speedo. It wasn't on the road. It was on the speedo. I was on a car park, but my eyes were still on the speedo, not on the road. But as soon as you get used to it, and Mr. B picked up on this earlier on about listening to the bike as you're riding, I change gears by listening to the engine revs rather than a speed or anything else. As soon as I hear the engine getting up to a certain level, I change gear.
Yeah. Obviously you have trouble there, don't you, Carl?
Oh, that's me. I thought you were going to get through a whole safety hangout without being mean to someone about their
I'm not
bike.
being mean.
You are being mean.
I was tempted to buy another bike the other day, but it's not to do with safety, so I'll maybe tell you about that in the next one.
Yeah, no, I'll have to listen in on that one.
You'd like that one.
Oh, excellent. Right, let's quickly go through these questions then. Yeah, I know, they've all popped in at the last minute. So we've got 5 minutes left. Skeggy just confirms that the traffic was moving at about 20 miles an hour when that guy was between the trailer and the tractor unit. I'll just quickly get Wyvern Bikers. Hi, guys.
I haven't.
Headcap Harley. Let's quickly take that one. Things a lot of people don't realise: an old car with crossplay tyres can suddenly change positions in lane where there's rutting in the road. It's like driving a boat. Yeah, and I think that's bike rider stuff from that as well, isn't it? Where the road's got a rut in it, like the inside lane of a motorway sometimes, or where they've done the tarmacking rather poorly, where they've made a join, and you tend to get stuck in that rut quite often as well on bridges. They tend to have a different type of. I remember when I was in Boston. I don't want to go on about it too much. When I was in Boston, a lot of their bridges have got like rails. And your car tyres get stuck in the rails that go the same direction as the bridge. And you find yourself got locked in positions. You have to really give it a good tuck to get out of that. It's quite a weird effect. So,
Same as when they're resurfacing roads as well, when they've just dug up the tarmac, and they got you find you've got that's a whole nother hangout. That one is on learning how to ride through those.
Yeah, when they've dug up the road and you left that groove, all those grooves in the road that it's like a record, isn't it? You're like popping across into one into another, which is a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, good point there, Headcat. Right, bearded bycat. Quickly say, take this one. Good evening, guys. Whenever I am riding with someone else, I do tend to try and avoid riding directly behind them. Yeah, so that I have some more escape room. I don't listen to music if I'm going down roads. I know with no passenger, and if I am not in any hurry, etc. Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's the other thing is riding staggered. Yeah, if you ride directly behind someone, you're always going to get the rubbish off the back tyre anyway. And it's good etiquette if you're looking in your mirror. Try and stay in that particular side if you're in a group. You know, don't keep switching because then the person behind's got to keep switching to avoid all this stuff off your back wheel.
Did you just nearly say another swear?
No. Right. Hepcat Harley continued. Should have picked that one up. And there's nothing much in the driver. And there's nothing much the driver of the old car can do about it to stay well clear of old cars. Yeah.
And old drivers.
I can't say that. Politically incorrect.
You're old.
Couch for Mrs. B tonight. But yeah, stay well clear of those sort of cars and road conditions. Where the road conditions are poor, probably not a good time to overtake and give some distance and room. Okay, and Bex. Hi, Bex. Hey.
Hi, Bex.
She said, I think singing or humming to yourself can be quite calming. Right, Calm? So that's kind of aimed at Calm Biker. I have known him to do a few bits of humming and singing and whistling, I believe.
Woo! What is it with you vloggers? Thing? Some are worse for it than others, as in do it more frequently, and some of you are worse singers than others, naming no names. But you all do it.
I sing. I don't have any problems with that. I sing along to the music when I'm just enjoying myself out on a ride.
I try and sing, I just don't know the words. What about you?
Make them up. It's much more fun making them up, but then again, that uses more processing power. I think you need a quad-core brain instead of your duo.
Quad brain, yeah. Yeah, that's the worst, isn't it? When you hum, or when you're trying to think of something to say, and you're like, hum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum, think, oh, I'm going to have to edit that out.
The worst thing, though, is when you're not listening to music and you've got that tune that will not go away in your head. And you only know about 2 bars of it. You only know the first 5 or 10 seconds of it. And as soon as that 10th second is gone, you start it again. It doesn't matter how many times you tell yourself to shut up, within 2 or 3 seconds you're doing it again. It just won't go away.
Yeah. Everything is awesome. Oh my god, I finally got that one out of my head now.
Yeah, I've seemed to have built my own a rod for my own back with that one. I had one stuck in my head for an entire bloody day. Did a vlog with it. I was whistling it. I was humming it. I was doing my own words, and then I decided I would use that tune as my bit of intro music. What was I thinking?
Oh, no. You'll never get rid of it now.
No, every day I whistle it at some point. And then I have other ones where if I see a car creeping now, it just straight into my head is that Jeepers Creepers.
It's like every time I see somebody running on the side of the road, I always hear it in my head, "Run, Forrest, run!"
Oh dear.
The things we do. Right, we've hit our end time for the preload safety hangout, so thanks very much for all your questions. And thank you very much for...
Morning, Kev.
yeah, morning, Kev.
Morning, Kev. Bye, Kev.
See you, Kev.
See you on the 9 o'clock, mate. But thanks to Dave and Richard, Calm Biker, and Who Am I UK number 1, not respectively. But yeah, so if you guys want to say thanks and hi to everybody and bye, and we'll see you at 9 o'clock and all that.
Richard?
Goodbye, everyone. I'll pop on at 9 o'clock just for a little while, and then I'll have to go and do some work. Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you later on the other hangout. I'll stay as long as I can. Ta-ra. Ride safe.
Excellent. Thanks very much, guys, for helping us out, and thanks everyone for watching and asking questions. And we'll be back on at 9 o'clock in the Fully Loaded, where we can talk about anything, and you can ask any sort of questions you like. So thanks very much. Don't forget to ride safe.
Ride safe.
Ride
invisible.
Right. Cheers, guys. Bye.